Welcome back, everybody. League of Inches podcast, Supercoach episode once more, joined by the legend himself, Jesse the Champ. I will declare right now he's straight away on the ropes. He doesn't like being called the champ, but when it comes to us, me versus him in the League of Inches Cup, basically he's the champ, and I've got him on the ropes earlier. A few of my players today have come off. I am cheering. I am on cloud nine, but unfortunately in the Supercoach world, that can quickly turn. Luckily, we both had Brendan Piakura, so I think majority of fucking Supercoach owners did, but that is a point we will get to. So this episode, we'll try and do this probably every Sunday, most Sunday nights if we can get them online for about half an hour or so, 20 minutes, and just quickly go through teams and any standouts, etc. We won't go through as probably detailed as maybe we will tonight, just because there's only two teams, so we got a little bit more flexibility, but we'll get a bit more sort of hot takes as the weeks go on, and whenever sort of me and Jesse can work our schedules around things. But first up, I want to do our Supercoach player of the round. Obviously, there was only two games today. The Vegas round, I'm not calling it round zero. Round zero can get stuffed. It's Vegas round, baby. And I'm going out of my way, I reckon, next year to make sure I am there and some of these League of Inches boys are there as well, because it looks unreal. I was so jealous watching it. Tell you what, I was so jealous. I'm going to start saving my pennies as we speak. My one, they lost the game, the South Sydney Rabbitohs, but honestly, we have spoken about this guy in length time and time again, and this is exactly what we said could happen, and it was Latrell Mitchell, who I thought was absolutely on fire. So far, without the updates, he's on 102 Supercoach points. He was immense. And look, this is a Supercoach podcast, but I also think immense for, in general, NRL rugby league footy as well on the field, because he seemed like he actually wanted to be there. And this is something that we continually spoke about, the fact that last year he sort of just looked like he zoned out. Even when he was on the field after his injuries and stuff, he just didn't seem like he wanted to be there for most of last year. He actually looks hungry again, and he looked fit. Like I said a few times at the start of the coverage when he's doing the interviews and stuff, he actually looks fit. And that just seemed like it came off onto Supercoach, and he's in that price bracket of a lot of those gun players, and he's the highest scoring fullback today for a very, very richly informed NRL fullbacks and Supercoach fullbacks today. So Latrell gets mine. I just thought he was absolutely sensational. The scary thing, he's got 102 points, and as we sort of quickly spoke about off air, if he kept going in that second half of South Sydney, that could easily be in a 150 or something. And geez, any draftees out there, which I know Jesse is one of them, he does have him, was loving it. If you captained him or something on, which would have been a huge ballsy play, but we're all about the ballsy play here. If you did, you would have been cheering for that 150 sort of total as well. So the fall off part was what we have discussed with Latrell, and it is his downside factor. He can literally just completely go missing in games, unfortunately. But look, he did all these hard yards. I'm not going to complain with 102. If I was a Latrell owner, which unfortunately I am not. Jesse, who's your Supercoach player of the round?
It's Latrell. It's the exact same as you, man. Couldn't deny it. Hey, he looks sharp. He looks fit. He's lost some weight. He's, for his frame, he's obviously slimmed up a bit. But yeah, you made the point. He wanted to be there, man. He was hungry for it. Whether it was the Vegas thing, driving the players up a bit too, because you saw a few of them sort of get G'd up a bit about it as well. Ruben Garrick with his little touchdown as well. So they were obviously it was in the back of their minds at some point. But no, he looked good, man. And it was a problem too with the rest of the Rabbits team, especially the halves. I found that they just couldn't keep up with him. And I feel like they kind of dropped off because of that. And he can't do it all himself. You know what I mean? He pretty much was up until that point. And, Manly started to get a roll on. The halves and the 5'8", you got Ilias and Walker, exploding. I don't know how much they've got to bash him in the last couple of weeks. They seem to get a bit hot-headed and just go nowhere. But yeah, no, Latrell looked great, man. If the team was as good as he was, they would have walked it. So he did drop off towards the end of the game, and the results swung because of it. But it just goes to show how important he is when he's firing. They look unbeatable, really. But yeah, good play, man. Good signs for him too. If you can keep that going.
Yeah.
I said it a couple of weeks ago. It's only a matter of time when he gets his head right that he's a shot for a Dally M. And that kind of performance, if he can actually obviously win the game and keep stringing that on, it's in the realm of possibility, man, because, yeah, he is a superstar, and anyone that has him, I've
Yeah.
drafted him. I didn't get him in my classic team, but I have got him in a draft, and he was my second pick. I'm loving it right now. He was flying. So,
Yeah.
yeah, no, good player, man.
It's-
But there was a
That's
few
one of
that
those.
killed it this week,
There
today.
was. We will. Yeah. We will. For some reason, it does. It's been a massive day. It's been
Yeah,
huge. It's two games back to back, and just the excitement factor and everything else. It has been a big day, but here we are giving the viewers what they want. Um, I feel like that was one of those games where Troll can just basically go into the sheds and sort of look at everyone and he doesn't even have to say anything. Everyone knows that they've let him down because we all know Latrell's the heartbeat of South Sydney, and he obviously turned up. He produced. He just had a number of players, unfortunately, that didn't. Whether it was the occasion, like we have seen a lot of those. It's funny. I think most of those big name players have actually shown up today that were playing. I think it was the lesser sort of known players, no disrespect to them, have sort of maybe choked in a way on the big stage on that sort of environment. And maybe the jet lag, or not the jet lag, just the being over there, the environment, the atmosphere has got the better of them. But interesting to see. And it's very hard from a super coach point of view to make too many plans early, but when we get to the second game, there is some maybe rage traders already happening as we speak. Look, you did mention, I'll go straight to Cody Walker. He got a 33 today, super coach, and that is obviously, I'm going to just say it now. This is all scores before the update, so who knows? It might change by a couple of points or go
go
down
down.
or whatever, but yeah, probably. He was ranked third for Supercoach 5/8, and you have been so against him since we have started doing these podcasts, and you've been made to look like the Supercoach god that you are. Um,
Not after my round
he's
today,
so
mate. Not after
frustrating.
that. But yeah, he is. Yeah, I'm not a fan. I experienced that as well. When we get into the draft stuff too, you'll work out that Joel actually drafted Cody Walker, even after all of my warnings, and felt the sting of a 33. So he will have worse games in him. He'll obviously have better games in him, but it's not nice, especially when he's what, a third pick. I'm pretty sure he was your second or third pick. It's quite high up.
Yes.
It's yeah, it's not what you want.
It was a big
So
play, and I'm not happy with it.
big money too. You know, he was what 700K, 705. You know, I don't know who decided to start with him, if anyone. There was a few percent ownership there. It's gonna suck. But he gets hot headed, man. He lost it and he threw his game away. That's kind of what happens.
That's the
No
thing
good.
because annoyingly, we always put him and Latrell together. If one of them are on, generally that means both of them are on. And the fact that Latrell was so good today, I actually was kind of expecting to maybe go onto the app and see Cody Walker's done like a 50 or 60 because he's fed off Latrell. But then I just like even just watching him in like real time, I just thought like their halves disappeared. Like Elias obviously has never been a playing super coach. So there's no point even talking about him. He was pure dog shit. I don't know what is going on there. I've made the point. There's a few people that I've seen on social media this afternoon, especially South fans, actually bash the poor kid. I actually feel for him because I've said to him in a team where you've got Latrell and Cody, who are clearly the main playmakers of this team and basically command the ball and tell the team what they're going to do. It is impossible to be a halfback in this team unless you have the quality of player like a Jonathan Thurston or an Adam Reynolds. Unfortunately, that they let him go. You can't expect a young kid to come into this team and start bossing around those two players because it's not going to happen. They're going to
Yeah.
override him pretty much every single time. And everyone's saying, "Oh, where's Ilias? He's disappeared in the game. He was non-existent in the second half." He was there, and you can clearly see at times Cody Walker and Latrell just do the opposite. Like they go the opposite way, etc. So
Mm.
I do feel for him in a way. He's definitely not super coach worthy. So there's no point even talking about him too much longer. But yeah, the
Well,
halves are definitely a worry. If you do have Cody Walker and he's the cash he is at the moment, it looks like it's going to be a quick decline price wise. I'd be quickly getting off him. He'd be a rage trade for sure if it was me.
yeah,
Just don't. I just feel like this year might be the year that we see his age come to the surface. He is an older player. I think a lot of people forget that he debuted at an older age. We might start to see that sort of hit him, I guess, unfortunately, because he's has been a quality player, but I think it's catching up.
Mm, yeah. I just you're gonna find so much
Hate him.
inconsistency there, man. I just don't like it. Honestly, I wouldn't touch it with a 10-foot pole. I almost laughed when you drafted him because I knew this would come up quite often. So yeah, I'm glad that it has. But can just
Good.
going through the rest of the Rabbits side. Obviously, Latrell on 102. Richie Kenner's 88 is the biggest fraud 88 points you're ever gonna see. He had a shocker of a
He was
game.
dog shit.
He had a shocker of a
He
game,
was a
but
turnstile.
yeah, he missed everything and he's so many errors, so many errors. But he scored 2 tries, so, you take the points, you don't care what happens, but I can't imagine, he
He
keeps
would
the
have
spot
been 0%.
after this. Yeah, no, I think it might have been 1 or 2 there, but it should have been 0, and if anyone wants to rush in and grab him because of that score, do not do it. It was a
Yeah.
rubbish performance. Um, it almost, puts me in 2 minds to think that maybe, Jacob Gagai might keep a spot if he gets binned because it was shocking.
Please do.
There's a Jacob Gagai owner. I didn't get on that train. You did, so well done. Just have to see if he can get 3 games before his eventual,
I think it's
disappearance.
worth a quick discussion on that.
Yeah,
I chose him because of that factor. I think he would be in line before Richie Kenner. So once Whiten does come back, I think he slots straight back into his center position. I can't see Kenner going into the wing. Like after this performance as well today,
yeah,
I don't think he's first grade standard. Like people go, "Oh, he scored 2 tries, a big whoop." Okay, he scored 2 tries. He literally let in half of Manly's points at least. So
yeah,
it wasn't a good display. And I'd have Jacob Gagai there for sure. And I'm
yeah,
hoping that is the case for Supercoach. That was why I did it. And I can see him lasting at least till round 8 when Munro returns. So
yeah. If that can, if that actually happens, it's pretty good, man. Because he's obviously gonna spike pretty quickly in price, but he has to get those games together and just see if he keeps it.
yeah.
I hate to go sideways on a bottom dollar basement dweller price cashy, but if there's someone that's gonna rise in price significantly, I'm probably gonna jump on that. So,
Yeah.
yeah, good pickup to anyone who got him in that one and who actually played him. I think you did this week too, so
Thanks,
GG.
bro.
Very good. You're against me as well, so that one stung a bit. Cameron Murray, 52, spent a bit of time off, not ideal, but they had a lot of forwards to get through this week, so I don't think that's gonna be consistent for him. I think he probably still gets his big minute games, but, 4 forward bench. Might see, Mamazulas come back next week if they don't need as many. Just have to see what happens.
Yeah.
But, yeah, the rest of the forwards are actually pretty quiet. My boy Totola shat me. Didn't do too much. He got split in the cheek, and I thought he was gonna come off, and he didn't, but, nothing really come from that, 36 points, so that one sucked. But yeah, a lot of people are on Kepi, a lot on Arrow as well. Both got 42. So just average game for what everyone expected to be a big, heavy forward game. It was pretty heavy in the backs, so
Yeah.
completely different to what everyone thought. Um,
Yeah, nah.
anything
Arrow was a
else
bit of a
in the
letdown, wasn't
rabbits?
he?
Which one? Arrow?
Arrow. He
Yeah.
just
Yeah, it's
like
just dry Arrow. You can make the point he's probably aging too, but I don't know, I just don't like his game too much. At least he doesn't
from
have a
the
mullet,
first hit,
so
he
makes him
looked like
harder
he
to
got
watch.
injured. Like he just
Yeah,
sort of just kept looked like he just got hit and hurt
I
every
think
single run he made.
yeah,
So
I feel like he tried to milk it too. I feel like 'cause he was at fault,
yeah.
this was his penalty, so he just tried to go down like he was hurt, pass it off like it wasn't such a bad thing, but yeah.
You didn't end up starting with
It'll
Murray,
definitely get
did you?
better. No, no, I didn't.
That's a weird
Um,
game from him
yeah,
because
yeah,
he
it was
looked
unusual.
busy. He did look
Mm,
like he was involved with a lot, and then I look here, he only got 52. That was a
yeah,
game that if I was a Cam Murray owner, I would have thought afterwards. I would have been thinking before I looked at the app. Yeah, look, probably sitting on about a 70 or something there. That was
yeah,
a
it
weird
just
one.
didn't seem to translate much for him, and there's a few players today
Yeah,
that it felt like that too. Yeah, what happened here? What did he do? Oh wow, he played 72 minutes.
yeah,
Okay, I
was
thought he played
big.
less than that. Yeah, it just felt like I didn't see him as much. 36 tackles. Yeah, he did some work, just didn't seem to translate. So, yeah, I don't know. It was a weird game for the Rabbits towards the end anyway. None of them seemed to
Mm.
really make any points towards the back half. It was all Manly there. Um,
Quick one on Damien Cook for you, because I
yeah,
know he hasn't been that popular in the hooker position this year, but I thought, especially in the first half, he looked so damaging and
he
creative.
did.
Like, I know Latrell was huge, but I think that was helped because of Damien Cook being so active at hooker. and involving all the market defense in the middles to focus on him, he opened up a lot of space out wide. And I thought he did a really, really good job. As you said, I think the second half sort of the points dried up, and whether they do have a difficult run at the moment, South Sydney. So that is something to keep an eye on if you are looking at getting some South Sydney players in. But yeah, he looked pretty good in it.
Mm,
He might turn into a pod, if anything. And to say Damien Cook could be a pod, that is crazy
yeah.
talk.
Cook always has relevance at some point in the year, and I these days, obviously, it's probably around that Origin time, depending if he actually gets picked or
Mm,
not. I had him last year for that stretch, and he was pretty good for that little window, and then back to Grant as usual. But yeah, no, he did look good, man, and he played at full 80. So just have to see what happens next week if there is a bench hooker on the spot. So, but no, he did look fresh, man. It was very impressive first half. Just didn't see much in
yeah,
the
there
second,
was.
too much anyway.
I think the really last bit on South Sydney. David Mawali, who was bit popular in the offseason. A lot of people started to talk about him a bit. He only got a 29 today. I don't think the minutes were quite there. So see what happens with Moali, but
Yeah,
I will
it was
still
almost a
not. I'm
point a
still
minute
not
for
going out
him.
of my way. Yeah,
He
he just needs
played
the minutes.
he
That's
played
that's one of
28
those
minutes.
things.
Yeah. Yeah, just needs the minutes, but they had so many forwards on the bench. It's like that was never gonna happen for him.
You happy with Totola?
We'll see. I'm still pretty good. It's still early, like, it's early days, of course.
Yeah.
It's too much to read into at the moment. It'll just be a shit shocker week, and it'll kick me off, but, you know, I only had 5 players go, so and 2 of them got injured. So what do you do? Could have been anything.
Hey, how well I know you now, do not ever say it's just sort of try and palm it away. If anyone overthinks things in Supercoach, it is the man sitting
Mhm.
next to me in this podcast, guys. The
Eating me
I put
alive.
the
It's
team
killing
I put
me.
the team our teams out yesterday in that post, and guys, I've actually lied to you because Jesse changed about 10 million things in it before kickoff. So he he is he doesn't stop. He lives, breathes, and sleeps Supercoach. Manly Seagulls, we'll jump over to them. Tommy Trebojevic looked like he's a lot more confident this year, and that is a worry. He looks so involved, and
Mm,
he got a 73, which I actually thought the Tommy of old, that would have been like a 100 game with how involved he was. There was a few little crucial things in, like there was a couple of knock-ons that he got that would have counted against him, where I think the Tommy of old probably would have caught it or scooped it up and made a line break and a
yeah.
try assist, etc. So those little things will come to his game. This is the reason why I haven't jumped on yet, because I think it will take him a couple more weeks just to really get into his natural game and be fully confident with everything. But I think you are a Turbo owner, weren't you, to start with this?
No, I
Oh,
got
you
off
went
him.
away from him in the end.
I got
That's
off him in
right.
the
You
end.
did.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, I had to work
Comfortable
some
with
stuff
that?
out. Yeah, at the moment anyway. It started off, the first half, I was actually pretty happy that I got off him. Came good in the end, and it was a lot of base as well. And realistically, like you go back a couple of years' time, every tackle he's probably getting past that line where he pretty much got caught up every single time. I don't think he really got through at all. Missed one up, cost Luke Brooks some points, but there was some things that he could have done um, better. And I think that'll probably just take a little bit of time. He hasn't played footy in so long, man. Didn't have any trial games. He got injured during Origin, so it's been a fair while since he's actually been out there. But it's very impressive for that stint off too to come back with a 73. Probably going to rescore quite high, I reckon. I reckon there's a few things in there that got missed up, but impressive for a first run.
Yeah.
Definitely piqued interest. Obviously, I was super interested in him. It was more the price and the fact that it locks him out today when there's things that I'm pretty reliant on Tuesday, and I just wouldn't have been able to do anything about it. So that was kind of the only reason, but I'm more than happy to get him in instantly if I have to. So that's not a problem. Um, but yeah, no, he did good. He does look confident. He didn't look like he was worried about anything pulling up injured or
Yeah.
wasn't holding anything really back. It just seemed like he was just doing his work.
I loved the
Yeah,
run out where he actually sprinted. There was like he did like a 20-meter sprint, and I was
Yeah,
thinking, all right, here we go. Turbo
it's
time.
always
Actually
good
had
seeing
me
him
really, really
full
worried.
stride.
Had me
Yeah,
so worried from a Supercoach point of view. But as a footy fan, I sat there, smile on my face, just thinking, how good is this? So I've got fucking Tommy Turbo back in this game, and
he's
he
back.
is looking fit.
Oh, the
I want
Blues
to
are
talk
wanting
about the
back.
centers because I think, yeah, so do I. The centers I thought was a really cool discussion here because Garrick set the world on fire. I was worried about him moving to the centers, but um, that's
Never
been
in
blown
doubt.
out of the water. If you are a Garrick owner, congratulations. If you aren't a Garrick owner like myself, I will be trying to do a lot of things over the next week or two to get him in my team because I think he's going to be a quality player. Again, it sort of didn't look like he did a whole heap to get those points. He got 91 points on them. Now, he got the try, he got the goals,
It's because
but
Kenner
it
was
wasn't
so
like a
bad.
hugely busy game for him. Yeah, it does help that he versed Richie Kenny. He's not going to be able to verse Richie Kenny each and every week, so keep that in mind.
Yeah,
And it was probably if you looked at his points, I reckon he would have got a lot of those points later in that game as well. He just sort of
yeah.
started to rack them up and just owned Kenner. So the other guy, obviously cooler. Yeah, I feel like he only got 32.
Mm,
He looked really, really promising for mine.
yeah,
Like there were so many times, and similar to Turbo, where he sort of looked like he got on the outside of his player and just got caught, slipped or something. But there's a lot of potential there. I liked there was a few times towards the back end of that game he sort of started to pop up here and there as well, and just looks really, really damaging. So don't go out of your way if you haven't got him at the moment by any means, but just keep an eye on Cooler because I actually think at some point this year he's going to be a really, really big player.
yeah. He looked sharp out there, and it just didn't seem to
Yeah.
give him any points, unfortunately. But yeah, Garrick was crazy. Every time Manly get flying, obviously Garrick kicks the goals. He's always going to be involved. Again, that try that Cherry Evans put through to him was entirely Kenner's fault. He was miles wide and just let him walk through. So he got gifted a couple little things there. Had it been a good center, they might have been a different story, but he still would have scored very, very well. It's not going to take away the
Yeah.
fact that, you know. And another thing, Manly looked good in general. Like a lot of
Yeah.
the time, you sort of base every part of the Manly's attack around Tommy Turbo, but it was very balanced. I felt like they were able to go left and right pretty comfortably, and things just happened for him. Cooler's speed on the left was just wild. Like he was just getting past a lot, and obviously Turbo swinging back and forth. Brooks had a crazy game, um, and it helped out on that side too. So I feel like there's a good little formula for Manly at the moment. They seem to be, obviously it's one game, um, but they just looked good. They were able to just continue that sort of pace throughout the whole 80 minutes. So yeah, Garrick, big time.
They look really fit. They look like a really fit footy team, which is looking good. The halves, Luke Brooks actually outscored Daly Cherry Evans by 1 point, 61 points. Luke Brooks got obviously helped with that try that he managed later in the game. I thought he was sensational all game. He looked so damaging. And I could see that try coming from probably around that middle of that first half where he started to take the line on a lot. He just looked quick. Like he looks
Mm,
deceptively quick at the moment. And credit to him because I wasn't ever big on the play. Getting Luke Brooks in, if you did get him, well done. I still think like for the game he had to only have 61 might be
yeah,
his downfall because I don't think he's going to get many better games than that. It might be a consistency thing, but it feels like in a way 61 could be a ceiling for him, and he's got that. But I don't know.
yeah.
I don't know what to think about Luke Brew. I love how he played today, but I still don't think he's a super coach option.
Yeah, I just have to see, man, because he fumbled one in the first half too, so he could have
Yeah.
had two. And he even said that was the
Oof.
point. He had to get that second one, so it would have pushed him really high, and it would have had a lot of people thinking about it. But again, he did a fair bit of work for 61 points with a try. Um, just gonna have to see what happens. Not bad for my draft team. There's one for me, another one that actually did quite well, but yeah, just have to see. Like he did more than Cherry Evans and obviously scored 1 point more than him. So it's not a great deal
Yeah.
more. And so many people are going to be, where are all the Brooks haters now kind of stuff. I'm going to see these posts everywhere. So if I see it a couple weeks in a row, I'll fall on the sword and admit, Brooks is going to be big time for him. But at the moment, I was impressed. I'm still just gonna watch and see what happens. But yeah, as a Dylan Brown owner, it's very hard to try and make a swap to
Yes.
to go towards a Luke Brooks, and it just depends what happens there. But yeah, no,
Yeah,
good on
and
him,
have
man.
and have
It
a
was good to see.
second and have a good second 5'8" at the moment doesn't look like it's going to fit well in my team. So
No, apparently,
unfortunately, it is a pass for Brooks. The back row I want to talk about because I thought they were massive,
yeah.
both for a Supercoach point of view as well. So Olakau'atu got a 91, obviously with a try. Both got a try,
Mm,
and Ben Trbojevic 73. If you've got both of them, you're laughing. I think a lot of super coaches got on Ben Trbojevic. I don't know if all of them played him though. A lot of questions out there about playing him, and it was a silly idea, etc. Before the game, I was always a big fan of playing him. I thought it was the closest, how close the field was together. So that really brought in their edge players a lot more. They'd be running over those 5'8s, the playmakers, and I just thought from the offseason, I've heard that he has, and with his brothers there, he will be involved in this game. They will be trying to go to him. And there was a few times they tried set plays and stuff that were
mm,
literally trying to get Burbo over the try line, and it ended up working for one of those plays. So as a owner of Ben George, I just hope he stays fit because if he stays fit, I don't think Schuster's back in this side in a starting capacity. I think he's off the
no,
bench, and he'll just be one of those players that 1 week he might play 5 minutes depending on how the game's going. 1 week he might play 30 minutes depending on how things are. But I think things are looking really good for both. If you paid upwards for Olaquatu, well done. It's paid off for you. I didn't. I've gone obviously the mid ranges, but could not say anything more about Olaquatu. I thought he was huge.
yeah, it was a monster game for Olakau'atu. Very early as well. He was on 50 something points, within 20 minutes. It was nuts for him.
Yeah.
So, um, yeah, he's going to do that all year as well. That's why he's one of the top second rowers in the game. That's why you pay the premium. You can't really go past it. You pay that sort of price tag, and you want that kind of performance. And obviously, he over delivered on what they expected from him. But yeah, he's an animal. If you got him, well done. It's very big price tag to pay up on a second row forward to start the round off. So didn't think his ownership was too high to begin with, but yeah, he'll do that quite often. But yeah, Burbo, what a freak, man. He's been so good since the trials. Whatever he's done, whatever's sort of clicked for him, it's really good to see. And fitness is just a thing. He looks fit. He looks bigger too. He just looks like a man
Yeah.
out there now. Like he's worked it out. So I hope he keeps that spot. I can't see him losing it. And this could be the prime cashy. Might be a very very early hot take for throughout the rest of the season, but
Is he
awesome.
the Hopgood
Really
of
really good sign.
2024? Oh,
There's your headline.
oh,
That could be it. Imagine. And he's a center wing. It would be even bigger. So yeah, it'd be huge. But again, yeah, very, very good game from Burbo. Glad I started him. His ownership was over 50%, I'm sure, by the time the round kicked off. So half the people either had him, and I'm guessing half of those guys started him too. So you got to be taking that 73 points. Almost scored half
100%.
my team so far in one player. So
100%. Moving on
yeah,
to the second game, Roosters first up. I was so impressed with James Tedesco. I thought he came out with a point to prove. It was something that we've both spoken about at length throughout this off season about being a James Tedesco owner. Unfortunately, I did jump off towards the end of it and have gone over to Pappy. So I'll be watching nervously because I'd be very, very rapt with the 78 from Tedesco right now as my second choice fullback. I just thought, yeah, he was everywhere. So he was very, very busy. But I don't necessarily think that's a bad thing for that 78 score because that's pretty much stock center what you're going to get each and every week from James Tedesco this year, apart from some of the other players who might be very, very busy, but that could be a one-off performance. This is just James Tedesco. This is what he does.
yeah, yeah, he was wild. He was under every single ball, picking up every bit of scrap
Oh,
too. It was like four. It was like he had magnets in his hands. I couldn't believe what I
must have
was
been
watching.
hungry.
Hey, yeah, yeah, they would have freaking. Oh man, I was loving to see it. It was so good to watch him just get back into that sort of form again. And obviously didn't overplay his hand. He did exactly what he had to do. Didn't get himself a try, but I think he assisted someone. So um, 78, not too bad off his price point. But yeah, I'm a Pappy owner now as well. I got onto that side of
Mm,
things too, and I don't think they're perhaps going to do that against Panthers. To be honest with you, I'd be very surprised. So it's one of those,
Nervous.
might sting a little, but we'll just have to see. But no, he was very very good, man. I'm glad to see it. As a Roosters supporter as well, good to get the win against the dirty Broncos, Queenslanders. So it's always a good thing for me. Joey Manu,
I was going to say, how happy are you with Joey Manu?
oh, he's a freak. So good. That intercept to start the game off as well. I was like, oh, that's beautiful. I love to see that happen. And then the flick pass as well, typical Joey Manu fashion. Yeah, he's so good.
How did he get that ball away? That was
I don't know.
ridiculous.
I have no idea. He flicked it on like the outside of his, yeah. So he was
Oh,
on his right hand and he flicked it somehow, and it went back towards
turned
him,
me
even though
on.
he was turning the opposite direction. Just laid it on a plate for him. So
After that, I looked
all
at
go
the
would have.
missus and I was like, "Do you wanna run off to the bar, the bedroom for the 30 seconds that you like?" And she just looked at me and said, "No, I'm watching Joey Manu while I do that." And I can't
Can't
obviously
blame her.
compete with that. So
Yeah, 5 seconds of Joey Manu and 5 seconds of you. What would she rather?
I I know what I'd be choosing, Joey Manu every time.
That's it. What a handsome devil. So yeah, hopefully this whole French Super League thing's not really going to happen because I'd hate to see Joey Manu leave.
So good. He's a freak.
He's good, man. Yeah, just really good signs. The Roosters working real well. Victor Radley,
Sam
the forward,
Walker,
Sam Walker. Yeah, you go to Sam Walker actually.
I
What are you
thought
thinking?
55 for his Supercoach points was a little underwhelming in a way because I actually thought he was really, really good today. I thought he was really controlled with his performance. I looks like the Roosters are going to be playing a bit more off the cuff footy, which suits his style down to an absolute T. So I think he'll warm up to this team. There's obviously superstars galore in this outfit. I think Billy Smith not playing may have hurt him a little bit because they may have got a bit of a combination going, and that's obviously a late withdrawal, so that may have hurt him a little bit. But um, Sam, we have said that Sam Walker's probably like our fourth or so choice at halfback for this year. Just we feel like because the Roosters are in for a big year, Sam Walker is going to feed off that. The 55 doesn't put me off that. Like that's not ideal, obviously, because we know if you go on Cleary Hines, that should be 55 should be made within the first half for one of those. But
Mm,
um, yeah, it's definitely continue to watch Sam Walker for
yeah.
mine. Don't jump on him, but just watch to see how this plays out the next couple of weeks. Because I actually thought Kiri was pretty quiet, so it looks like Walker's getting the keys to the castle finally for this Roosters outfit. We just need to see him adapt to
Mm.
that and further his role.
Yeah, yeah, it was a good first game for him, like he's definitely going to get better too, and he's still so young. But yeah, you just can't knock his performance. He didn't really put a foot wrong. It was just obviously he didn't do as much as some of the other guys did, but he didn't really have to. Like it was very forward heavy, and um, you just had Teddy and Manu just picking things up. But he kicked well, so it was a good performance for him. Definitely, still rate him as high as we do. Like I don't see him 55 and putting any warning signs out at all. I feel like he's going to be a good option at some point in the year. Um,
Yeah.
who else stood out to you, man? It's a fair few of them.
I was gonna start talking about the forward pack as a whole because first of all, I'll put Victor Radley and Terrell May into their own little sector here because I thought they were both massive. I
Yeah,
I would go out and say on a limb that that was Victor Radley's best game in probably 2 years. Like
yeah,
he wasn't hot headed. He was playing with some passion and stuff, but he controlled it, which is
yeah.
really good to see. And that's something that we've been crying out for now for about a year or two for Victor Radley. Terrell May, like people were saying, oh, he's off the bench again, worried. No, never worried. I actually had him in the starting pack for myself for Supercoach and give me that 60 points every day of the week. I'm pretty sure it equaled Payne Haas or very close to it. And for
Yep.
the massive downgrade with Price, I will take that every day of the week. So that's a very, very smart investment for the way I'm seeing it. And Terrell
Mhm.
May, keep doing what you're doing. I heard that as well. The thing that really stood out for me for a Supercoach point of view, Trent Robinson was interviewed on the Matty John show straight afterwards, and he actually said about how good he's going. He's so confident in him. He just leaves him on for the back 40, the second half. If he's
Mm.
going to keep getting that every week, he will literally he's just going to stay on my team because I know this is the sort of stuff we're just going to get from him. Like
Yep.
he literally just played his style to get 60 points. He hasn't done anything out of the ordinary. He hasn't got to try. So I know deep down, if he does get that try or something, it's just going to go.
Yeah, it was massive, man. He played 54 minutes too. Obviously Trent Robertson made the point that he said he doesn't look like he gets tired, and
Yeah.
he was trying to find a way to bring on Collins and Butcher and, trying to work something out with the rotation, and, just didn't seem like he needed to do it. So that's obviously what you wanna hear for Terrell May because his points per minute are crazy, so obviously the more minutes he gets, the better it is, but, there's still like, not knocking obviously Terrell May, he's a freak, so next week, Rio Hargraves is back through. Is he gonna play 50, 50 plus minutes again? Probably not. Don't know yet though, because it seemed like he wanted to just keep him out there. So, if it becomes a thing where he just constantly gets his 50s, man, he's gonna end up one of the highest scoring front row forwards of the year, I'd say. I'd call it now for that. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, man, he was the second he started, he was offloading. The minute he walked out onto the park, I was like, yeah, this is gonna be a big one already. So the minutes definitely helped. Have to just see, man. Have to see what happens because they lost a couple of those forwards today.
They
Wong and
did. And
Tupanua.
the rest of the forward pack, one word:
Mm.
frustration.
Yes, it was kind of on the cards too. I didn't want to believe it.
Yeah.
I went with Tupanua and Piakura, and I got shafted. So um, the minutes weren't there for either of them. Tupanua got taken off 2, 3 minutes into the second half. Probably, I think, a knee injury. Siwa Wong, ankle injury. So, we made the point there's so many forwards to get through. They almost need some injuries. Well, there's two of them. So we might see a new look. We might get Angus Crichton and Nat Butcher for the next week. Not a bad
Who
replacement pack,
knows?
really, is it? Who knows?
Crichton might
It's
be in. Who knows? He could be
yeah,
starting.
that'd be fun.
Look
Then
at
there's Angus
Angus
Crichton to
Crichton.
look at, and we got another headache to worry about. Is Crichton going to keep a spot, and what's he been doing? So yeah, I played Roosters roulette with the second row forwards, and I
Yeah.
copped the bullet there. So not very fun. But they got injured, so you never know what could have happened. I only know what I got. Shit points. But they probably got about almost 2 weeks before the next game starts.
Yeah.
A bit over a week and a half or
Should be
something.
okay.
Should be okay. Didn't seem like
It
there was
should.
anything much coming from it. They were just rolling so well that they didn't really need to risk putting them back out there because Tarome didn't need to
Yeah.
come off. So
Yeah.
they were fine with it.
And look, I think Wong's minutes were a little bit down to what I feel like if he's fully fit, he'll play. He did get 43, so it wasn't the end of the world for Wong owners. There's only upside for him, I believe, but it just wasn't ideal. It's just a bit annoying the fact that there's so many out there. We've all been worried about it. In a way, I kind of wish I did what we both said originally about this and just watched and waited for a few weeks and then got on the bus for these back rowers. I've sort of
Yeah.
got in
Yeah.
early and I regret it instantly. I should have listened to my own advice and listened to my own podcast. So
Yeah. Me
the
too.
Brisbane Broncos finally. I want to talk about Reece Walsh because I've got a bit of flack off this, off the post so far on my pad and pen thoughts. I actually put the red cross next to Reece Walsh. Now, we got a 72. I'm going to ask you before I go into it, Jesse, if you had to give him the flame emoji or the red cross, if you were doing Jesse's pad and pen thoughts for Supercoach, what would you be giving Reece Walsh after today?
I'd be putting the cross through him as well. He's a flog.
Thank you.
Personal opinion. Sorry, Reese. You're a great player. You just that try. You just pissed me off doing that freaking leap in the air. I was like, nah, I'm already over you right now. So, um, it wasn't a great performance by his standard. You know what I mean? He still scored
Mm.
72. Could have been way better. Um, 72 even surprises me to be honest, but he did get a try. He was quick and he was explosive in his moments. When he had those moments, there wasn't too many of them, but when he did have them, he did make a lot of it. So yeah, it just depends on what your expectations are of him, man. Because if you look at actually his stats and what he done, he got a try assist. Um, 3 tackle busts, 3 offloads, pretty big, 180 meters. Like he did some work. You can't say that he didn't do anything. Um, but again, he didn't score as much as Tedesco did, and he did a lot more than Tedesco did out there as far as attacking stats. So the base just wasn't there. Um,
Ding,
just
ding,
goes to
ding.
show.
We have a winner.
How good's Teddy compared
Well,
for 100 and something K less too? So yeah, that's
that's
where you
why
make the
I put the
comparison.
X on him.
Yeah.
That's literally right there. The fact that Reece Walsh was so busy, and he only managed to get a 72 out of that game is, for mine, eye-opening. And you've already warned people about this in the offseason. The fact that this is what you'll get from Reece Walsh. And people are saying, yeah, but it was the Roosters, they're one of the teams to beat this year. All good. There was chances to make that score a lot bigger than he did. And for that price bracket and the players that he is around, for them to be that busy that Reece, as busy as Reece Walsh was for this game, you'd be seeing at least 100 on the board for him, because that's the type of players they are, and that's what you're expecting when you're paying that upside for players. We just said it. Tedesco did more than scored more than him and did less than him when it came to the attack side of things. So obviously, you put two and two together, you'd have James Tedesco over him at the moment for a Supercoach
Mm.
point of view. That's why the X is there. I'm not saying
Yeah.
he's played a bad game at all. I think he played decently without being superb for Reece Walsh. I think he overdid his hand a little bit too much and tried to do too much on the big stage, but at least he's doing that. There is players that could crawl into their hole if they made a mistake and stuff, and he's not that type of player. But I just think from a Supercoach point of view, for the players that are around him, he's probably last on the list for mine in terms of who I'd go after for a fullback.
Mhm.
And I'd probably rather downgrade and go for someone like Pappy or Tedesco, who I think could probably average about the same as him this year, and you'll get him a lot cheaper to start the season with. So
Yeah,
that's the reason I've got him as an X.
he's got a lot
Nah.
of errors and penalties in his game too. He's just every time you see something happen, penalty, penalty, it always seems to be him most of the time, I reckon
Mm,
anyway. Just always hovers around it and causes problems for everyone. And he should have been binned. Would have been binned any
yeah.
other round if it wasn't Vegas, I reckon, for that Tupou tackle. But gotta keep the gotta keep that, entertainment going for the Vegas guys. So
Yeah, you do. Quick one on
yeah.
Stags. If you have Stags, can you just do yourself a favor and get rid of him, because he's one of the biggest headache players in NRL Supercoach
Yeah.
history, I think. And I'm not
Yeah,
an owner. I'm
yeah.
just trying to put my brain into yours for a second and just feel like how you guys would feel, and just get off now. Just, I don't care if you have to give yourself a boost early or something. Just please, just remove yourself from that situation, because 23 points today. Again, he just doesn't get involved. Doesn't go looking for the ball. He just sits there and just hopes the ball comes to him. Mam, another one. We've all said this. I think me and you, Jesse, a million times. He is not an
Mhm.
option. He is not a Supercoach option this year. If you
No.
did start with him, that's unfortunate. I wish you listened to the podcast.
High
And
ownership, very high
he's
ownership.
hugely owned. Like,
Yeah. Uh, Grand final,
no.
same as Jesse Arthur's, high ownership for one game, and it just, that's the reality of it, man. That's Ezra Mam without any tries.
Mm.
That's what you're gonna
No,
get.
thank
Nothing.
you.
Not for me.
I don't want it.
Even Reynolds was
Payne
pretty quiet,
Haas,
to be fair.
yeah, but he's not an option either. Like, that's just
No, not
silly
really.
talk.
Exactly.
Payne Haas at 60 for the big dog prop. You happy with that? Paying up? I'm
No,
glad I didn't get on him.
no, not at all. Payne-Haas notoriously starts quite well too. He's
Yeah.
almost a safe bet. You get him in, you get your 75, and you're happy with it. But he just didn't seem to do a lot. Obviously didn't do a lot. Got 60 points. That's Payne-Haas to a T. So
Yeah.
his
It did
tackles
seem
weren't there.
quiet.
Yeah, it just didn't seem like a game that he was his typical Payne-Haas fashion. But 60's still pretty good for a very, very average game. You take that
Yeah.
out of the quality, but you wouldn't be super happy with that price tag considering, Terrell May was 430K. It's got the same. Yeah. You pay up in a front row,
What? And
there's no
then,
upside.
if we're talking about front row, we've got to mention the fact that Willison, it was confirmed. He didn't make this team, which I know a lot of people had him. I did get off the bus quite just before kickoff, etc. I think a lot of people did the same. I did have him in my team, so I guess he's just one of those ones you got to wait and see. I think once injuries start hitting at the forward pack here at the Broncos, he will become an option. But it looks like for now, the coach Walter Kevin Walters will go a different way, unfortunately, because he looks like a good points per minute player for Supercoach. So I wish
Mm.
actually he was ahead of
We
a
might
couple of
see.
these players. But yeah, apart from that, for the pack, I thought they were a bit meh. Like, Ricky looked
Ikora.
okay. 58. Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
let's talk about Piakura. Obviously, I was sort of thinking about the
The
upside
elephant in the
things first,
room.
and I was going to go
Yeah.
address him.
Of course, there had to be one. There had to be one. 1 point. That's just it's the cherry on top for the round. That was just trash for me at the moment. So yeah. Oh wait, the rescore's come through. He got 4 points. So
Hey,
thanks,
okay.
Piakura. Thanks for that. Wasn't the worst thing in the world. Um,
What did you get the
Look,
extra
man,
3 points for?
just taking the headgear off. I think getting back in the line. I don't know
Oh,
how they
resource has
thought
been
that.
updated to 81.
And Joey Manu 106. Huge.
Oh,
Oh, and Teddy went down to 70. Okay, this is some live updates happening right now. I don't agree with this,
no,
and literally the last things that we were saying about 5 minutes ago are completely irrelevant now. So, this was all
not
pre-rescores, but they've just
necessarily.
not really, but
Resource
it
is
makes the
really,
point.
really busy compared to Tedesco and did a lot more and still only be 10 points ahead of him. I'd still rather be a Teddy owner.
Oh, it's still, yeah, that doesn't change that fact.
Yeah.
It's just the point scoring side of things. Um, yeah, look, I know a lot of people. It's going to hold his price rises for a while now. His break even's going to suck. Um, Probably going to get off him if you want to get off him because you don't want to cop it. I guess we just have to wait and see what happens. The 11-day turnaround, they play in 11 days. If he gets named, then we see at least give him another chance. If it
Just
doesn't
quickly
look
on
like,
that,
yep,
because this is our last talking point for the episode. So you're thinking behind this because a lot of people now be in this boat. I am the same. I guess there's two ways to go about it. You either stick with him, but that means you're sticking with him for the long run. So you just wear the price drop because it will eventually hopefully go up. Or in your like what you're suggesting is get off now, keep the cash while you can because obviously there's no price changes for I think the first 3 rounds, and then get him at once his bottom dollar and then get back on and up you go, which obviously then
uh,
you waste 2 trades. Is that
yeah.
ideal or
No, I wouldn't want to waste two trades. If you get off him, you're getting off him.
yeah,
Um, it just it's like
which I don't wanna do.
it's been one game, so it's obviously the reason why you started him. You had a bit of faith that he was going to, perform quite well, score some good points. You saw him in the trial score really good points. He's an attacking threat, which is nice. I reckon Ricky scores probably a bit higher because Piakura wasn't there because he doesn't usually score
Yeah,
up in the 60s normally. So, um, if you wanted to really bail off it, because it's not a massive price drop to be honest. Like he's gonna go down realistically. The whole point of him was to go as a cashy. Like I don't think anyone got Piakura into playing to keep Piakura for the season. Um,
I
if there
did.
another did ya? You weirdo.
Yeah.
If there's an option that presents itself, um, and it looks good, might be worth a shout. I wouldn't be rushing to get rid of him after a concussion. It's not like he played like shit. We never even got to see him. So
Mhm.
that's kind of the only thing that's got me going. I'm definitely going to give him a couple weeks to see what happens. Um, if the next two look shit and he just does not look like, worthy of keeping because it doesn't look like he's actually going to make any money in the long term anyway, then I'll be getting off before I lose anything. But hopefully into someone going up. But by then we'll know who's got the good break evens. Same thing with Tupanua. I felt like he was really busy in that first half, and I
Yeah.
felt like he was on both sides of the park quite a lot, and I saw him almost everywhere, and it meant nothing for his points. Another second
Yeah.
half of that, he may have gotten his 50 points, and I'd be pretty happy with it. So that's another one there. I'm not rushing to throw him in the bin, but
Yeah.
you just got to factor the fact that they didn't play their game. It's just unfortunate. So
Yeah.
yeah, it's not panic stations
So
yet.
finally,
It's been one game.
no, it's not. Finally, we'll play a quick little game with you, which I'm going to start to bring into this episode every week now. And it's you don't have any idea what's going on here. So this will be off the cuff.
Yep.
I want to get your of the round, your biggest flame emoji player and your biggest red cross player of the round. So a player you're red hot on, and if you haven't got, you'd be saying go out of your way to make it happen. And then obviously the red cross is someone that either you have and you go and just abort mission or someone who you're thinking just please don't even go there.
You have put me on the spot. Are we
That's
talking
what I do
budget not
best.
permitting? Are we just gonna go, who would I want
Nothing,
if
just
I could have
player
anyone?
of the round. Yeah, the players that you're thinking of this round that you've watched and gone, he's I'd be all over him, or no thanks.
Um, it's hard to look past Latrell after that game
Mm.
for my player, to be honest with you.
I'm
I'm very
going Joey
confident.
Manu.
Yeah, that was my other one too. I was thinking it's hard to obviously look at past the 2 fullbacks that you've got. You've only got 2 of them. I'm very confident with my 2 fullbacks too. I'm not worried about any of them.
That's what
Um,
I was thinking about.
but yeah, Joey Manu in the centres ended on 106. He looks, red hot. But that's the thing, Joey Manu always looks like that. He just has those
Yeah.
games where he just actually gets the line and stuff. So he's always there. Um, and I will have Joey Manu at some point. It's guaranteed, near guaranteed. Might be harder now because it looks like he's going to go up plus 700k
You
pretty
get a
quickly.
price.
So you've got to get on him instantly if you do
That's what I
want him.
mean, get on him.
Yeah, yeah, I'm pretty keen for Joey Manu, but yeah, it's between the two. They both killed it today, and you'd just be super keen to get them. Players I do not want to look at: Cody Walker. If I didn't need to not look at him any harder, um, there's just nothing. There's nothing appealing there for me. Fuck, just every 5'8" really that's there. Ezra Man,
Yeah.
rubbish. There's a fair few of them. Um, a few of them.
I'm gonna cheat. I'm cheating a little bit, and I'm just
Yep.
saying the Roosters back row. Just if you haven't yet, just don't entertain it yet. Just watch for another couple of weeks, see what happens with the minutes and stuff, and then do yourself a favor. And like me, if you're on Wong, I'm unsure at the moment. I'll just say that much what to do because it's just got me very worried. I thought his upside would
Yeah.
be huge. But I'm so worried with the minutes side of things and how they're going to just share this up and make it all hunky dory in a way. But
Mm,
I don't know. I think that's it for this one, Jesse. I mean, again, look at us go. We've just managed to talk our way up to 50-minute mark, and we wanted it to be a 20, 25-minute show.
yeah.
So that's
Yeah.
how
We're,
good
we're
we
on it.
are with Supercoach.
Terrible, mate. Terrible. Yeah. No, it was, and it's only 2 games as well. God, imagine wait till next week. We'll have to do one daily,
We're
otherwise
going
we'll
to
just
come up
kill
with a
everyone.
set structure. We're going to
Yeah.
come up with a set structure, I think, and I'm going to bring a bit more of that emoji game, I think, into it before, and maybe just do that as each game, and we'll just talk about probably 2 players per game or something, and go from that. So might be a bit easier, and then we go a bit more in detail for our Tuesday night or Wednesday morning for you guys when it gets released episode, and that can be our real big one where we just tackle a lot of the issues. But Sunday night or Monday, whenever we can fit it in, will be our sort of just quick boom, 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 off we go.
Yeah. I suppose the footy's just come back today. You got to give us a break. We're excited.
Excited.
That's it.
We
All
are
about it.
excited. I'm sure everyone else is. Let us know
Yeah.
in the comments, guys, how you want this episode to be structured as well. We want to do what you guys want to listen to or watch, so that you guys are key for us. So if you have an idea or happy with this sort of length, or you want it to be shorter, just let us know. We will do it. If you want the emoji game back, put some emojis in the comments as well. Have a bit of fun with it. But that's it. We will give you our part 2 team release on probably Wednesday or Thursday morning. That'll obviously feature the rest of this team list that are out. You'll see the players that we ended up sticking with for the last 2 games as well. Jesse, go and relax. Go and look at some Supercoach numbers and start stressing out
I'm done.
already. I know what
I'm
you're
done for
like,
tonight.
and have
No,
some
I'm
dreams
done
about
until
Pia
next week.
Kira.
Finish now. Leave it alone. I've got to stop tinkering. That's the problem.
Yep, I think so. All right,
Yeah.
perfect, guys. Thank you very much again. Please like, subscribe, all that jazz. Go follow us on the social media icons you see down the bottom of your screen. Podcast listeners, keep hitting that bell icon, keep following us, keep listening, keep giving the likes. And if you can give us a rating as well, it does go a long way of making sure that it shows shown to a lot more people as well. And we get recommendations and stuff, and that goes a long way to actually helping us. So thanks, guys. Enjoy your day, whenever you're all night, wherever you're listening, and enjoy League of Inches community.
It's that time again.